lawn dart into this first jump, so he definitely is going to stay committed through that first long sweeping corner. Crossing the MetalCloak start jump. Here's the laser nut jump. Those Jeeps clear it just fine. Heading back towards the Holley EFI 180.
No, Miles, real quick, talk about this class. Touch on it. It's like, I think it's like the first opportunity as far as a beginner's class or getting into the sport your first time.
Yeah, this is the 4600 Pro Comp stock class, so it has to be a stock frame, stock motor, 35-inch DOT tires. I mean, these things started out as street legal machines, and then they built them up to all the safety stuff you have to do. You have to have a single shock, one per corner. And you can see them, their suspension is extremely limited, so they're kind of bouncing through these rollers compared to soaking them up, but Albert Contreras is still out front, starting to pull a little bit of a lead. And they will, all classes today are running the identical same course, so you go up that Gunite rock section, and there's those two MetalCloak and Cloakwork rock sections towards the start-finish line.
Yeah, as you can see, with this being a limited class, they're not able to handle this course like you had mentioned some of the other classes can. With suspensions don't quite drop out. They don't soak up the bumps, the jumps quite as well. And it can shake you up inside pretty good.
Yeah, I talked to Albert in his pits yesterday after he took that little lawn dart in that jump. He said the car's good, but man, that hurt. It rattles his insides, and he took a little chill out, and he's back in business and got that KMC hard charger out there, so he's still pushing good. It looks like they're starting to get a little bit of a battle for the lead. Head down that MBRP launch jump. Take a little bit of a bunny hop. And a few of them are rolling it, but Albert was able to launch down there, so pull his lead back out just a little bit.
You almost have to plan way ahead to that corner before you get to that jump. So go wide in that corner, get a nice long run at it, and be absolutely 100% fully committed.
And look at these Jeeps cruising through the MetalCloak rock section. Take that hard ride into the Cloakwork rock section.
Speaking of MetalCloak, we got Mattson Brakey eyeballing the screen over our shoulders here. This is like his little baby right now on the course, his class, so to speak.
So Albert Contreras out in front, finishing his first lap, heading out for lap 2. Right behind him is going to be Dawson Allington, Anthony Thomas. Rounding out the top 3, Sean Gill, 4.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. We talked about the UTV classes out here earlier. They're kind of saving their equipment kind of for the races further on this afternoon. You can almost buy all the replacement parts for UTVs off the shelf, so it's not that hard to have spares or replacements in your rig. Where this class is a little bit different. There's more fabrication going on. You can buy some of the parts off the shelf and have them as spares, but you also have to have a whole lot of equipment fabricated and built as spares.
And a lot of these guys team up. They got a lot of sponsors behind them. It's cool to see. Albert Contreras is with Jeep Thrills, Fury Off-Road, and his TJ-based race machine. This is the 2018 MetalCloak Stampede. So we got to throw out a huge thanks to those guys. We have Nitto Tire on site, Laser Nut, Jeep, Renegade Race Fuel, ESOB, PCI Radio. We have the Savvy Jeep JL out there helping us keep the course clean. Again, thanks for all our sponsors for helping making this sport possible. And to bring it to you guys back home live at ultra4racing.com/live. Albert Contreras still out front looking smooth. His game plan is to finish up front. And you'll see rolling through that MetalCloak rock section, starting to smooth out. There's a distinct line right through the middle, starting to get some of the bigger rocks rolled out of the way. But this Cloakworks rock section isn't moving quite as much, and you can see Albert just bouncing through there when his limited suspension Pro Comp stock class machine. He comes to a complete stop. Did he break something? What happened? Albert Contreras is stopped in the Cloakworks rock section, gets past. I don't see.
It looks like they moved the rocks back in position after yesterday's qualifying sessions. The rocks were moving around a lot. He's moving back again.
Albert Contreras back on. It looks like he may have dipped out. Not sure if the engine died or what happened, but here again, as long as he finishes in the top 7, he'll be okay. I think he only one. Anthony Thomas 2, Brian Barron 4, Sean Gill 5, Nathan Creer 6, and Caleb Boxey on that 7th place bubble, because remember, the top 7 do advance to the main. This is our first race for the Lasernut Western Series. Cody Wagner's here on site racing with the big boys of the 4400 class. Great to see them step up this year, and if you follow him on social media at all, he's got Laser Town out by King of the Hammers, and he is all the time playing out there. Whether it's rock crawling or racing his Ultra 4 car, he likes to have fun.
Yeah, speaking of fun, we didn't talk to Shannon about her hot new ride out here this weekend. I didn't really realize that she had quite the stable of Jeeps at home, and now she's bragging about, walking around all proud of herself about what she's got right now.
I wouldn't say I'm all proud of myself, but I'm definitely in love with the JL platform. I'm a Jeep girl. I'm a straight up Jeep girl. I've had my TJ for years. That's how I ended up in the role that I am here. And we went from my TJ, and now we've got a JK, and I got to drive that JL on 488 gears, and it was amazing. So I'm in love with it. It's the best platform I've seen for a Wrangler, and yeah, it's going to be tough to not want to add one to my corral at my house of Jeeps that I've got for sure.
Hey, Chris, I think you're watching us at home. She said all that with a big, huge smile on her face and a certain glow in her eyes, so you might have to start saving up a few pennies for a future purchase. Yeah, we got a nice little contest running up front right now.
That should be Dawson, Dawson Allington and Anthony Thomas out front. And there's Albert Contreras still in that 3rd spot after he had a little bit of issues in the Cloakwork rock section. And again, how cool is it to have this live coverage out here? The Hammer King production crew does such a great job out here keeping everything rolling. Alongside the NorCal Racing crew, keeping everything safe and sound. They do a lot of the track work. This is kind of the NorCal home track, if you'd say, here at the Prairie City SVRA. And this is the 2018 MetalCloak Stampede.
Yeah, this is quite the facility. You got permanent structures, you got concrete pads, grandstands, also a shaded area, the trees, grassy area. So once again, if you're in the area, live within an hour or so of this place, come on down, have a great afternoon, celebrate Mother's Day early a little bit, relax with mom, bring the grill, bring the dogs, the family, the whole 9 yards. This is a great afternoon.
It's a really cool event. There's a lot of vendors out here help support us. Daddy's Food down there has been feeding us all weekend long. They've got great food, so be sure to check those out. Rock King of the Hammers merchandise. Get an event t-shirt. It's 1 for $25 or 2 for $40. So buy them before we sell out. So I believe Dawson Allington's still out front in his Jeep-based 4600 Pro Comp stock class buggy.
Yeah, for a while there, about 3/4 of a lap ago, I thought we were going to have quite the battle for the lead. And now, once again, it's gapped out, so there's a pretty sizable distance between first and second.
But as you just saw Dawson Allington rolled that jump, and Anthony Thomas cleared it. So he's really pushing.
I stand corrected.
And right behind him, Albert Contreras still pushing hard, so it could be down to the wire. This is their. This will be a 6-lap race. So they're out on lap 5, getting ready to cross the MetalCloak start-finish, heading out on lap 5.
Miles, you as a spotter, your guy's running in second place. He's got a shot. You can see the leader. He's right there in front of him, only a couple of car lengths back. What do you tell your driver at this point?
Run your own race. You're doing good. You're looking smooth, because between first and second place is just side by side. There's not a huge advantage going into the main. So, I'd say just keep the car together. Now, you see them jumping out there. These guys have limited suspension, so you don't want to be bouncing around and entertain the possibility to roll or break these guys are still running leaf springs on some of them, coils, just a single shock per corner.
I'm kind of thinking that the hardest job on the track right now as a spotter is if your driver's in second, you got to keep him calm. Because the driver in his competitive nature is going to want to go for the win. You know that. So you got to try to reel him in, keep him calm. You don't have to win. Save the equipment. Don't wreck nothing. You don't have to win. Yet that's got to be the hardest thing to do.
And right as you're saying that, Albert Contreras is back there pushing hard, trying to get that lead. He's got a third pretty tied down right now, but he's pushing towards the front. Heading to the Steelette Gunite section.
Now, for the fans at home and that may have never been to an Ultra 4 event, Miles, kind of talk us through, in particular this class, what they have to do between races to get these things prepped to kind of take care of what they just may have wrecked to get ready for the next race coming up later this afternoon. They've only got a couple hours to do it, as this is a very tough class and a lot of work, a lot of maintenance in vehicles like this. And here we go. We got a battle for the lead.
Yeah, this is the heat race, so once they get back, they can head to the pits and give it a quick shakedown, check the nuts and bolts, make sure all your wheels and tires are tight. There's a lot going into it, top off fuel. Don't forget to put fuel in. You could run out there. We've seen that happen before. And during these races, these cars are getting beat up pretty good, so stuff can rattle loose. Again, these are a fairly stock machine, so they're really putting them through the paces.
This is the last corner, I believe, in the white flag lap, and this is for the win coming into the final turn. Oh, no, I stand corrected. White flag.
White flag. Mario's waving that, so this is the final lap. Albert Contreras hot on his heels, so he did bump into that second. Remember, he dropped back to third, stole second back, blows that corner just a tick, pushing too hard. Heading back towards that Holly EFI 180. And we see another lap traffic guy. He's really moving slow, so there'll be a lap traffic could become an issue, but he's sticking to that right lane. I was hearing JT Taylor saying the drivers meeting to really hold your line.
Looked like for a moment there somebody was slowing on the course. It's hard to tell from the drone shot. It looked like lap traffic now.
So Dawson Allington still out front, but Albert Contreras is not giving up yet. We are taking the top 7. So heading through the Talladega style Nitto corner right there. See Albert still chasing down Dawson Allington and Brian Berrien in third place. This is the 4600 Pro Comp stock class. for today's 2018 MetalCloak Stampede here at Prairie City SVRA, just outside of Rancho Cordova, California. So look, Albert Contreras hot on Dawson Allington's tail. He goes for the pass to get a little wheel on tire action. Albert Contreras on his side, goes for the pass. Open wheel racing, catches the right front tire of Allington. So we'll get our crew out there, get him righted, see if we can still get him across the finish line. There is no outside assistance, just the NorCal and the Hammer King production guys. So we'll get him righted as quickly as we can. So Dawson Allington takes the first place for the checkered flag. Heat 1 for the 4600 Pro Comp stock class.
How much do you think Contreras is kicking himself in the hinder right now for that? I mean, he had second place. He's going for the win. We talked about it. You know, this is a competitive nature of a driver. Do you go for the win, or you kind of hang on for that second place finish? But now we're going to see if there's any kind of damage whatsoever to that car, maybe get it back underway. So it looks like Barrett now is coming around.
So this is racing all the way to the finish line. It's going to be an exciting day. And that does look like it's Brian Barron should get second place. Remember, the top 7 do advance. And it looks like there's Albert Contreras out of his vehicle. He looks like he's okay. He's got his helmet off, but he's not getting back in his car. So he must have done a little bit of damage to it. So tough break. And just like you were saying, Scott, he pushed a little too hard. He had second locked down. Tough break, Albert Contreras. So
but he has a chance to come back in the LCQ, so not all is lost. He still has a shot to get into the big show later on this afternoon in the main event.
So Nathan Creer rounds out the top 3.
Yeah, it looks like they may have figured out that they can still get in if they get in the top 7. You saw them both run back to the Jeep, throwing their helmets on.
And if it was me, I'd just put the driver in. The passenger doesn't have to finish with them. So hop in there, hurry up, and cross. The top 7 do advance. There's still 3 more spots. Sean McNamara just passed, getting the 4th position.
And Daniel May Applegate crosses the line. He'll take that 5th spot. And technically speaking, Contreras is still now in a qualifying spot as he's 6th. I wasn't able to see if that was him.
And that was Albert Contreras. So even after his rollover, he still crosses the finish line in 6th place. So he does move to the main event.
Rolls the car, they both crawl out, they walk away, come back to the car, look at it, walk away again, then figure out, hey, we still got a shot at this if it's running. Run back to the car, climb inside, and finish in that 6th spot, and they now don't have to worry about going to the LCQ. They're in the show.
That's a great shot of them there in the hot pits. Repeat. Well, so far so good for the 2018 MetalCloak Stampede. We're going to have a little break in the action, so we'll be right back after this.
of stuff that kind of brings it up to you. Sort of twinkle in my eye. God's a keeper.
Pain in my ass, but no good.
Okay, nice. I like my wife. I stole your chair for a second.
Have it. I'm good.
We'll find another chair.
I'm good for a while.
I got Wayne Conlon tuned in a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Don't know if he's still watching. I saw him check in.
Thank you, lady. Perfect. Yep. Thank you.